People, and welcome to my live. I'm Sasian, life coach and motivational speaker. My channel's about manifestation, yes, about creating your best life, but also learning and becoming aware, because your awareness is important for you to be able to create consciously, right? At the moment, most of us are just creating unconsciously, allowing life to just make us make these decisions. Life is just happening and we're not consciously owning. We don't have authority over our life experience. Okay. Now, if you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because my channel is all about the development of yourself, your awareness, and your level up in life. Okay. First thing you need to know is becoming aware and taking ownership is you being responsible of your life, not blaming people, situations, circumstances outside of you, not blaming your family, your background, the fact that you're in a certain level of society, but you living your best self means reaching your highest mind. In other words, okay, we have the lower mind, which is based on all your day-to-day things, your lower chakra level stuff, right? And when you raise your frequency, right, you're actually awakening your chakras to get to up to your heart, open your heart and raise yourself further. Then you're able to now access your higher mind, your true self, your higher self. You understand? The one that sees everything that you don't see in the micro where you sing in your little existence. Your higher self or higher mind sees much more. So today we're going to speak about the teachings of Bashar. Right now, Bashar's teachings are similar to my beliefs, okay? And I had no idea really before, because I don't really follow Bashar. I've been seeing the videos here and there, but I haven't really followed the channel or his content much, right? But this weekend I had going into because I saw an interesting video about it was about basically about authority, self-authority, and it was actually another creator, content creator, who's also following a short 5-step teaching. So I had no idea about that. But when I went more into it, I realized that but this teachings is what I believe in. Self-awareness, self-ownership, having self-authority in your life. Okay. So now Darryl Anka channels the entity called Bashar. Okay, and it's very popular teacher of spirituality and self-awareness. But Bashar is all about you taking ownership, right? You got to own your life and make those decisions. So he's talking about self-empowerment. Self-empowerment, living in alignment to who you truly are, your higher self, your higher mind. Thank you for joining my live, guys. Thank you for joining my live. Today we're talking about Bashar's teachings, right, which are aligned to what I also teach as well on my channel, okay? Self-authority is important. You create your own reality with your beliefs, your choices, your actions, your worldview, who you are. Because you cannot make choices, actions, and make actions, sorry, that are outside of what you believe, outside of your worldview. Okay, so you every day we all just making choices because of the beliefs we have, which are our worldview, who we think we are, what we think about life, right? So it's all about self-authority, right? So but as per Bashar, self-authority is about stopping to giving your power, stop giving your power out by you not owning your life, okay? You giving your power away when you blaming people, situation, and circumstances for what's going on in your life. You're not taking ownership. Now you are a victim. Okay, so now Bashar's teachings move you away from self being a victim, but being somebody who's in authority of your life. You are the authority. You decide what's going to happen in your life, right? And then people say, what about things just happening? Okay, things happen, yes, but you assign meanings to those things that are happening, because again, you have authority. Because when something happens, we as human beings, collectively and individually, assign a meaning. Okay, we assign a meaning. So you have that authority within yourself as a sovereign player, right, with a higher self and a higher mind, to assign meaning to anything. You're never a victim. You decide that this thing is a painful experience. You decide that this is a disappointment, right? You apply for a job and then you don't get the job. Then you decide it's a disappointment, or you can decide that no, this is just an experience. It just means I need to work harder. I need to get more information. I need to prepare myself more for the interviews. I need to be able to apply for jobs that I want, that align to my skills. You see the two different things. You sign a meaning to it. You break up with somebody and you decide, number one, okay, it never works. I'm not good in relationships. I don't deserve good relationships. Or you decide, well, it's a breakup. What did I learn in this relationship? What can I do better next time in the relationships? Maybe next time I need to set boundaries. Maybe next time I need to be careful of who I say yes to, who I decide I'm going to have a relationship with. Maybe I should create a wish list. And on my wish list, I can have all the things that I really should, that I desire in a potential partner, right? Or even if you're just having a boyfriend, you need to choose according to what you desire, right? Have a set idea of what you want in a relationship, in a partner, in a boyfriend, or even in a friend. You decide who's going to be your friend, right? So you know, like, what do you like or what do you love in a person that can be your friend, that personality traits, same as in relationships. Taking ownership is what Darryl's entity Bashar, right? So Darryl Anka is the human being that channels Bashar. Bashar is a collective, as I understand, same as Abraham Hicks. It's a collective. It's always a collective. You understand? It's always a collective coming from the astral. You understand I'm trying to say? So these are the things that remember that people might not understand these things, but this is just information, right? We're in that age now where channeling and seers are now accepted. Before they were not accepted. So, but now that information that they're giving us is quite insightful. So it's up to you to decide, well, again, you assign meaning to that as well. So you can say, I don't believe in this type of thing. I don't believe in it. It's demonic. It's not godly. That's your assignment. Not every person will give the same assignment to certain things. For me, it's like, okay, this is a way of us as a collective getting more information from the other side. The beings, the entities that see more than what we see. Okay. Now you got to take what resonates with you and then reject what does not resonate with you. Because remember, you are a sovereign being. Now, there's something I really truly believe that resonates with me. So a lot of Bashar's teachings resonate with me because I believe I am an autonomous being. I'm a sovereign being, okay? I believe I have the power, and I believe in I do assign things, and I have the power to assign things. Now, remember, in Buddhism, they say that people create their own suffering because they're assigning certain meanings to certain things and situations that are causing that pain and suffering within themselves, self-suffering. You understand? So the Buddhism is all about you finding that easy part, that middle part where you're not identifying yourself to your life situation, right? You understand that the situation is just the situation. You are outside, you're a spirit having a physical experience here in this reality, okay? So self-authority, very important. Then he speaks about follow your highest excitement. Okay. Now, this is where some of us can get lost. What does he mean by your highest excitement? Something that makes you excited when you think about it, right? You get inspired. You like this thing. Excitement's attached to it, liking. It makes you excited, okay? The way you align your true self is to follow what excites you the most, what excites you most in life, in your life experience. May it be sports, may it be politics, may it be social media, creating content, may it be anything, comedy, whatever excites you, because in your spirit is in high vibration when it excites you, right? So in most cases, your higher self will lead you to that place of excitement, because your higher self is all about you loving and enjoying this experience, yeah, right? So you follow your highest excitement. The way to align to your highest self excitement is to truly follow what excites you in life. Don't feel like you're forced to do anything, right? Okay, so these practices that I'll speak about later on after I've spoken about all all these teachings, okay? Then the next one, he speaks about belief systems shape your reality. Again, I resonate with this one a lot. Beliefs, your belief systems shape your reality. Your belief systems are part of your worldview, right? So your belief systems create your reality. What you believe in creates your reality, right? And we all know how that is, okay? If you believe in fear and believe that this place is a place of lack and suffering, then you shall have and experience lack and suffering. A simple concept. Somebody threw something into the collective experience in 2020, 2021, and that was the COVID, okay? Now, not every single person assigned the same meaning to the COVID, right? So not every single person had the same belief system around this experience that was thrown into the game in 2020, 21, right? And this is not the first time, because the Black Plague was also thrown at some time as well. COVID, not COVID, HIV was also thrown into the collective experience as well. And it's still there, right? But because of the fact that it was thrown in and became like a whole frequency, a thought form that lasted long within us, right? And in the end of the day, well, they came with the vaccines, and now it's just seen like a flu. You understand? So COVID is almost in that way as well. It's just seen as just like a flu as well. What I mean by that, something that can be cured or controlled. That's what I mean when I say the flu. It's just a sickness, okay? You have it, and it's something you can control it, you can try and prevent it and all those things, right? But it's all about the belief system. If you still believe it's a death penalty for you to be having the COVID or even to have HIV, you get my point? Then that's your own specific belief, that even when they give you those medicines and vaccines and whatever you need to take, they won't work so well, because you are consciously in your energy resisting that belief that this thing is curable, this thing is not curable, maybe manageable, I can heal it, I can live. Because they say there's no cure, but there is a cure, right? But I won't talk about that now, right? Belief systems are very important in your reality, okay? Very, very important. Your beliefs act like filters to your experience. Your belief act like filters to your specific experience, okay? There could be you, your mother, your brother, your sister, 5 of you are living in one house, okay? But 5 of you all have different belief systems. You'll have the same culture, you'll have the same language, you'll have the same experiences in life, right? But even sometimes, you know what I mean? Everything's the same except for one thing. You all believe differently about life. Your worldviews may be very similar, but they're not the same. You understand? That is why in a family, not every single person has the same lifestyle, has the same successes in life, because of your worldview. Our worldviews are not all are not the same. We have different worldviews. It all be energy, connected by energy, but we have different worldviews. Okay, so limiting beliefs keep you stuck in this empowerment. Bashar talks about limiting beliefs keeping you stuck in this empowerment. Limiting beliefs, I cannot. It's impossible. There's nobody in my family that's achieved this. They're not gonna like me. I don't like me because I'm the wrong skin color. I got the wrong hair texture. All those things. Or my features are not good enough. Not that all those things are all limiting belief systems that disempower you, that take you away from your power. Right? You think that you're not good enough because you're from a country that's a third world country, or you think that you're not good enough if you're from a family with no money. That's all limiting belief systems that stop us from our own empowerment. Okay, so you choose beliefs that support your empowerment. You choose those beliefs that support your empowerment. Okay, so you look outside of the fact that maybe you feel that your skin texture, your skin color is not good, that you won't be successful. Okay, now again, that's just a perception, a very limiting perception. But if you believe that all things are possible, no matter what skin texture or color that I have, I can still be successful. No matter what hair texture I have, I can still be successful, right? Because success is for everyone, okay? It's up to me to make that happen. It's up to me to make that happen. Now you're changing your belief system, your worldview. It's more empowering And that's what we need to do. And this is what Bashar has been teaching people, right? As a collective entity. Then he speaks about external events and the neutrality of these events and circumstances. As I said, we all give meaning to every situation, circumstances, and everything. Anything that happens outside. Okay, we hear that Trump did this or said that. Not every single person is seeing it as a, oh my God, this is a threat. Some people are saying, okay, what does it really mean? What's the underlying meaning of what this guy is saying? Okay, he's just saying yeah, means nothing, whatever. That's his own problem. Okay, I'm living my own life. This is my life. And it's not controlled by Trump, it's not controlled by politics. Okay. Now you're giving it your own meaning to whatever's happening on outside on the mass media, political plane. Right? You don't care. Right? You just bothered about your own life experience. You giving that meaning, right? So external events, you must give them neutrality. They are neutral. So you give them meaning, okay? External events are neutral, as I said, until you give them meaning, right? So what meanings are you giving to external events? Are you giving negative meanings that are fearful, that are making you feel fearful and taking your power away? Or are you giving meaning to these events outside of you that are empowering you? Because you, an autonomous being, you have a higher self. You need to reach your higher self or a higher mind that's there to uplift you. You understand? So what are you thinking every single day when you see news? And you see all these, oh my gosh, come see this news, this person said this and that said person said that, there's World War III and all those things. What are you are actually thinking and doing, going and hoarding and making bunkers to keep yourself safe, hoarding and collecting food just in case, or things like that. See, so you are giving meaning to everything, right? So because not every single person will say, okay, will respond the same way according to that external event that's happening. Okay, self-authority means that you reclaim your power. Authority, you are your authority. You claim your own power, your experience, instead of being defined by the experience itself. Don't let the experience define who you are. Don't let this whole drama of the third world coming and there's going to be a lot of pain and suffering in the world and all those things. You decide, okay, what do I feel about that? Where am I now? Who am I now at this moment? Because the now moment is what really creates your future, right? So on where you are now, if you're living in fear about World 3 and all these things, you're not focusing on having your best time here. As Bashar says, follow your excitement. What is your excitement? It's not uh, connected to other people's your excited about now. Okay. Another thing, it speaks about alignment to your higher mind or your higher self, as I mentioned before. You have a physical mind, right? The one that you use for your day-to-day experience, the one that makes you get up in the morning, go brush your teeth, wash your face, go and change and whatever you're doing, and go outside for a walk, or you're going to have breakfast. You're using your mind, okay? Your lower mind, your mundane mind, okay? Then you have the higher mind. The higher mind is that part of you which is seeing more than what you see, your higher self, in other words, right? So he says self-authority comes from trusting your higher mind. Self-authority comes from trusting your higher mind, which triggers your intuition, some synchronicities, and also the excitement. So your higher mind is connected to those synchronicities, your intuition, and your excitement about life, right? Your inspiration, what inspires you. Okay, that's what it's all about. Then the next step, he speaks about, next concept is taking responsibility. This is a big thing. Okay, most people decide to give the responsibility away because they're afraid of taking and looking at the truth and saying, this is my situation. You want to blame other people and circumstances and stuff like that, right? Now that's not taking responsibility and control. You now giving your control to something outside of you, right? Self-authority is not about controlling every detail of your life, right? But it's about you take the responsibility of how you respond to these things. Things will happen, yes, but how do you respond? And how do you choose to align meanings to certain things? Firstly, okay, somebody walks into a room and I'm there, and a person starts now arguing and insulting me, okay, I look at the situation, I give it a meaning, I assign a meaning to it, right? And then I respond. Now, normally, your meaning that you assign to anything is going to trigger a response. Okay, if you give it a meaning that this person is confused, or this person's angry, let me keep quiet. See, that's a response. Let me just keep quiet. Just let him be. He's probably had a bad day, whatever, right? So every small thing in your life, every little small thing, from what you do in your little home, in your space at home with your family, how you respond to your family. Now remember, how you respond at home, how you acting and behaving at home molds you to how you're going to be outside. You understand? That's why a lot of parents say that you need to learn everything from home, right? If a parent teaches you well how to be a respectful person, how to be a patient person, right? That teaching molds you, and that's how you show up in the world. So if you are a person that's getting triggered at home and you're taught that it's all about violence and being over assertive, being actually aggressive, right? You're gonna take that thing, you take it outside as well. And now that's the responsibility you need to take, because you are not a victim of that situation. You need to understand that if you're behaving in that way and you're going out there, you're being aggressive, right? And you start a fight and there's violence and somebody gets hurt, right? Then you find you say you want to blame somebody else, you don't understand that your own response, no matter whatever, however you were triggered there outside, your own response is your responsibility. Nobody cares about what triggered you. It's the question is, are you matured enough to say, well, how am I going to respond to that trigger, to that experience? How am I going to respond? Am I going to be calm, self-collected, and mature about it, or am I going to be violent? Right? That's why the world is in a mess. People don't take responsibility of their actions. They just want to say they're victims. Oh, but no, that person came to me first, and that person did whatever he did to me first, and then I retaliated, right, in a violent way, right? Now you got triggered. You see, if you all walk around, imagine a world where people don't get easily triggered. If you all calm, there'll be no wars, number one, there'll be no social violence, right? Because we know we're controlling ourselves, we have self-control. Self-authority truly means that you're not triggered by every single thing that comes your way, right? You look at it, you observe it, and then you respond in a way that's productive for you as a person and for your community. You understand? Because if everything you're doing is also affecting everybody else, okay? Freedom means responsibility. Freedom means responsibility. That's why people that are violent and do criminal acts and hurts other people lose their freedom, because they have given away their responsibility. They disowned their responsibility. Your freedom is linked to your responsibility. Okay, when you're truly free, you can walk away from something. Somebody can say something to you, and you don't respond in a negative way. Just let it be and give them love and move on. You don't need to give them love. Like, for example, what I mean by give them love is that within yourself, you tell yourself, okay, it's fine. This person's angry. I'll speak to them later. That's giving love. You get my point? That's giving consideration and care and empathy as well, because you understand that this person's not operating from his right mind. He's probably under stress. Okay. Then number 7 is living in sovereignty, as I said. Because all that I spoke about having responsibility, you are living in sovereignty, right? You believe you don't need outside validation. You believe you don't need outside validation, right? You own your own life. You own your own experience, right? To be worthy, right? And now you know you are worthy. You are born worthy. You don't need no validation from any other person. You are your own source of truth. You are your own source of truth. You are your own source of truth. Remember, there's truth is many truths. Okay. What I'm saying, why I'm saying that is that every experience is seen differently by different people, right? So people say that this is the truth and this should be done this way. It's the truth, right? Not understanding that the truth is always linked to your worldview and your understanding about life, right? That's where the truth is. Okay. Now we're not talking about scientific truths. Scientific truths are what I mean. That's something that they do. They do some calculations and improve certain things to be scientifically truth. However, when it comes to human life and human spirituality, There's no one truth, there's many truths because we're all experiencing this experience differently, okay? Then Bashar also speaks about self-authority, that which is a big thing. You give meaning to everything, as I said. You own your life, right? You own every single thing, how you view a thing. You walk into a room and you find somebody doing something, and then you have the responsibility to give it assign it a meaning, and then you also have the next responsibility to respond. How do you respond? A response that's going to empower you or take away your power, right? Then let's talk about daily practices that we can actually um, implement for us to be able to become more mature in our day-to-day choices, right? Your morning alignments. I love this one. I do it every single day, weekends, holidays, any day. I get up with myself in the morning, I lay on my bed, and then I think about how wonderful my sleep was, right? I start thanking myself for showing up and being doing well. Just last night or just yesterday I did well, because your memories of what happened last yesterday come flooding in at that time when you first wake up, right? So morning alignments, your affirmations, or you say, I am a creator of my own reality. Today I choose to define all things in love and align to love and joy, right? I choose to define and align all things according to love and joy, right? And expansion. Then Bashar also teaches that all circumstances are neutral, as I said, right? Very, very, very important. Think about it very clearly. If you don't understand and don't believe that all things are neutral and we give it meaning, right? Do a little exercise, okay? You do a little exercise and you look at the world itself, right? Look at the world. Not every single person thinks that, for example, Tyler, what's her name? Oh, that singer, Beyonce, is a great singer, right? Okay, and her music and the act and this new album that she came up, that cowboy western album that she came out, that music that released, she released recently, is actually good. Some people do think it's wonderful, and some people believe it's all linked to being American and whatever sort it may be, right? Other people don't have the same belief, okay? They have their own beliefs, right? That means that everybody signs a meaning. Her performance and what she did is neutral until we give it a meaning. When a person walks into your room, into your house, right, and they dress in a certain way, maybe like a clown, whatever, and you know this is a friend of yours right now, you look at that clown and you give it meaning. Oh, this is funny. Or you give it meaning, and this is crazy. Why are you dressed like this? You give it meaning, right? Everything is just assigned a meaning to us, okay? Everything. Then follow the highest excitements, okay? As I said before, this is the big teachings of Bashar, is following your highest excitements. Excitement being that thing that you really enjoy doing, that thing that makes you feel good within your soul, okay? You write down what excites you on a day-to-day basis. In the morning, right? You write down what excites you, all the things that you want to do that really excite you. Okay, let's start with a to-do list, okay? You'll have your to-do list, okay? Then you tick on all the things that excite you about your to-do list for that day. And everybody should be living like that consciously, that today, this is what I have to do. Today, I need to get to work. When I come back from work, I need to do a certain thing. That's living consciously, because you know exactly. You're not just getting up and moving on, moving through your day unconsciously, you know what I mean? You're thinking about these things. You're either writing them down consciously. Now, the exercise of self-awareness is to write things down. Now, there's something about the head and the mind. When you write it down, you're putting order, right? You're even speaking into the higher mind, right? That this is what needs to be done today, right? I need your assistance with these things today, right? This is what I want to achieve today, right? So Bashar teaches, the core teaching is excitement, but be excited. Things that you're not excited about and you feel a bit reluctant to do, right? Ask yourself and write down, why do I feel but reluctant or not excited about this certain thing? Because in most cases, we have to do things that don't excite us, right? We have to, because maybe it's a job and maybe it's schooling, it's not exciting, you don't like that subject. Ask yourself why you don't like that subject. Ask yourself why you don't like to go to work. Right? And break it down, then you get to the core basis of the roots of why you don't like it, right? Then you can understand, okay, where it's coming from now. Where's this idea of me not liking to go to work? Where it's coming from? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. You break it down because everything has reason. Thanks for joining my live. Thanks for joining my live, guys. Man, and I know this other guy was here. Is it Tardis? Is it Tardis or Tardius? Whatever. Thank you for joining my live. We're talking about the practice Bashar's teachings today, right? And I mentioned about the six teachings that Bashar really focuses on, right? So Bashar is actually an entity, a collective entity that's channeled by Darryl Anka, right? For those that joined, right? I spoke about the self-authority, where he speaks that we need to have self-authority. He teaches us to have self-authority, right? To follow our highest excitement, what makes us excited, to believe in that belief systems that shape our reality, to understand that our belief systems shape our reality. Our belief systems shape our reality. What you believe becomes your reality, okay? And then the external events, you must stay neutral until you give them meaning. Everything is neutral until you give it meaning. Now you join my life, right? As soon as you join my life, you're neutral. You have no idea until you listen to my voice and listen to my content, and then you give it meaning. And your meaning is what you choose to give it, right? Now, every single person here, the two guys of the year, right, or 2 or 3 people of the year, are giving it different meanings, right? Because you'll have the autonomy. Although you're looking at the same content, you're not seeing it the same, you're not accepting it the same, you're not understanding it the same, right? You know what I'm trying to say? Even the picture of my face, you're all seeing it, it'll give you different feelings. Every single person is accepting, or let's say, receiving the vision, and my voice even differently. Some people say my voice is too deep. Some people don't believe that, don't find it to be too deep. You understand? So, yeah. So, we give meanings to every single thing. You see my dress and you give a meaning, you think about Rasta. Other people don't do that. They say, okay, they see my dress and they say, oh, she's got dreads. That's interesting. That's a common thing now. Dreads is a very common thing. Oh, she got a nose ring. Meaning again, oh my gosh, this woman is wild. Or oh my gosh, this woman is this. There has to be a meaning that you give to everything. You understand? You see my skin color and you give a meaning to it already. Now these things are done subconsciously, right? However, subconscious choices and belief systems create or influence your day-to-day life experience. You get my point? It gives meaning to your life experience. Then I also spoke about aligning your highest to a higher mind. Your higher mind is your higher self. I mentioned that your physical mind is that mind that you're using on a day-to-day basis. The one you're using now basically is your physical mind, the one that allowed you to come into this life. That, you know what I mean? You saw a notification, right? And your mind said, okay, let me join, right? Or even when you get caught up in the morning and you got dressed for this day, using your lower mind, the normal mind, right? And your higher mind is something that is more connected to your higher self. The higher mind is that part of you that is there and sees a higher view of everything of your life. Your higher self sees your life totally, knows your script, knows all your possibilities and all your constraints, all your challenges in life, and knows everything about you. So you only see this part. You see day to day. You see what's happening now. Your higher mind, your higher self sees the higher view of everything from the time you were born, even prior to where you were born. Your astrology, they see everything. Your energies that you brought in here. They see all your first traumas. They see your second traumas. They see everything. You see all your first wins in life, and when you start becoming aware of yourself, they see everything. You understand? And remember, we're sitting and we governed by time. Your higher mind and higher self is not governed by time, right? We here at the bottom end are actually governed by time, okay? And the physical things in your higher mind doesn't see that. Your higher mind sees everything. It's your higher self, right? That part that's connected to divine God, in other words, is connected to divine God. So it'll help if you connect with your higher self to get more information, so which is from the higher source, from the top. You understand? So these are very important. Align yourself to a higher mind. You have a physical mind, as I said, that deals with your day-to-day stuff. your past and your present stuff. Okay, then your higher mind, which knows the bigger picture. So your higher mind can also help you towards your future because you only seeing your past and your now, right? Because those are the two things you've experienced. Your higher self can see your future, your many futures. There's many of them, depending on what route you're taking, what likely route you'll be taking. I always tell people this when I do my readings that there's no real future yet. It's all determined by what choices you are making in the now. Okay, now you created a future. This is your future. Like a couple of hours ago when you got up in the morning, that was your present. Now this is your future. You see my point? That's how it works. It works like that. So as we going, we are creating our future. Your future is not sitting somewhere waiting for you to get there because you're gonna make different choices. Remember that your frequency keeps on changing with the information you're receiving. Right? So what I'm teaching now, what I'm saying now is information, meaning it'll affect your future as well. If you accept what I'm saying and align to it, then you will do things aligned to what I'm saying. The empowerment, you will start making the right choices that can align you to another more self-rewarding future that's gonna actually level you up. Okay, so your higher self is linked to your intuition, your synchronicities, and your excitement, your joy, right? That's what it's linked to. Then I also mentioned responsibility, being responsible. It's good for you to be responsible because for sure it's teaching people about being responsible and being control of their own life. Most people don't like to be responsible. Especially for me, when I'm young, I blame my mom, I blame my family. I go to school, I blame my teachers. Then I blame my whatever happens, I blame my friends who they told me to do it. They influenced me. Peer pressure. You get my point? When you're an adult again, then you want to blame your partner, then you want to blame society, then you want to blame your job, your company, your boss, your colleagues. You want to blame people. You don't take ownership of your life. Right now, a true authentic player of this game takes ownership of everything because you know that you're the master of this game. You are driving your own ship. You are aligning yourself with every choice, with every decision. You aligning yourself, right? And because you have freedom, so your freedom equals responsibility. Then I said living in sovereignty, right? Living in sovereignty is very linked to what I'm saying now. Having that power, taking the responsibility. You are sovereign being. You believe that you don't need validation from any single person or entity or institution. You believe that you don't need validation. You have the power in your life. You are your own source of truth. As I said, there's many truths, and I went deep into that, right? And you can harmonize with other people's truths. Just because I have a different truth, doesn't mean that you and I cannot get along. Doesn't mean you and I cannot work together. No, it does not mean. It just means I can harmonize as long as I know that I'm not narcissistic. I'm not pushing my agenda on you. Okay, we all in a workplace, right? We all have different world views and belief systems, right? But we don't push it on the other person. Okay, like recently, my daughter started a job at a certain school, right? And that one of the teachers asked her if she's Christian, as to go to church, and she says, "No, I don't. I am." Have been exposed to Christianity, but I wouldn't call myself a Christian. I don't go to church. And then she said, "Oh, but how do you connect to God? How do you find your way in life?" Right. So now you see my point. That's her worldview that you need to go and be a Christian and go to church to have direction and a way in life. Right. She's connecting what Christianity teaches to a part, meaning it's her authority. In other words, she's asking my daughter, "What's your authority?" In other words, when people ask you that question, "Are you Christian? Do you go to church?" They're asking you, "What is your authority?" The question is, "What is your authority, guys?" The guys that are on this live now, what is your authority? Okay. So now this is why my daughter came back to me and asked me. Like, I was quite confused and quite irritated because this is an adult woman. Why would you ask me such a question? Don't you know that people have freedom of choice, right? Because she chose not to go to church. She chose not to have the authority called Christianity or this Christian God to be her authority, right? Now, this is the whole thing, right? When you have your self authority, right? You don't need a religion to guide you. You don't need a philosophy that you don't believe in, that doesn't make sense to you, to guide you, right? You don't need it. You choose your own philosophy, what you call philosophy, right? You choose your own path, what you believe in. Remember that compassion, understanding, and love is universal. It's not linked to a philosophy, one philosophy. It's not linked to one way of life. It's not linked to one religion. Okay. Morality, having morals, having kind, is something, it's a human thing. Okay. Unless you choose to do the opposite, you choose to align yourself to pain, to hate, to discord, to separation, to all the things that are away from love and kindness. You don't need to be in a religion for you to have love and kindness, to express love and kindness. You don't need to belong to a certain sect or a certain brotherhood for you to have love and kindness. Okay. Love and kindness is something, it's a choice, it's something, it's a human thing. It's a human thing. You decide, okay, at home there's morals you taught. And hopefully in most homes you taught a nice, loving morality, right? That you must respect your neighbor, respect yourself, be kind to your neighbor, and be kind to yourself. Speak truths that add value to your life and to others. Don't be aggressive. Don't be narcissistic and all those things. Try and think about other people too as well. Although you're very important, yes, but there's other people around you that also need that respect and space from you, because that you expecting that from them, right? So you need to understand that we all connected. What you give is what you're gonna get, kind of thing, right? So that's what I think that people lack, that understanding, that just because I have this belief, why should you have that belief? And why am I expecting you to have the belief I have, right? And connecting to God, the God concept is another thing that we need to understand as well, right? People see God as different, okay? People see God differently, okay? People see God differently, okay? When you understand that, yes, He is a creator, okay? However, this creator and I are co-creating this reality, meaning that me and this creator have an alignment, have an agreement, okay? So, in other words, if I choose to go in a certain direction, I'm not going to be punished because I'm choosing to do a certain thing. You understand? So, that's where religion is coming from. It's all about controlling, right? Now, but when you become self aware and we have self authority, you understand that, yes, I understand that when I do this certain thing, this is what's going to happen. I know the outcome, but I'm going to take responsibility of the thing I'm doing and the outcome. That's what Bashar is teaching. I know what I'm doing as my choice, but I know I'm going to take responsibility of the outcome. I'm going to own my decision and the outcome. That's being a master of your life, right? No matter how you do it, right? And you keep on learning, because now as you're a master, you're not a victim. You're beginning to learn about life. Maybe you're not a victim. You're learning more through your own experience as you make the mistakes, as you do the things that don't put you in a nice space. You're learning, right? Remember that the world collectively, the macro collectively has a law system, right? We should have our own governing system, our own morality, okay? The world one speaks about people being punished and people be taken into prison and being imprisoned, right? In that way, right? And that way doesn't grow, doesn't make, it doesn't um, help the situation. It doesn't heal the world. In other words, you're saying, okay, you are bad. All bad people needs to be blocked up and block them up in the jail. And in the jail is a cesspool of people that are so-called bad, right? Doing bad things. And they that doing bad things to each other. And that's like a power struggle going on there, right? And here we are. And then we justify that situation, instead of us healing, the helping to heal those people that are doing wrong, right? We actually put them away together, and then we say they are condemned because they can't, if they come back to society after serving their time in the cesspool called a prison, they come back to normal society, and then we say, okay, he's a prisoner. You cannot get a job. You can't now. How is that person coming in to now live in society after doing that wrong that they're supposed to have done? You understand? So we don't have a healthy system. That's what I'm trying to say. Our system is not healthy. Instead, it's broken people breaking other people in a broken system. Right? Our system is broken, and we are broken people because we believe so much in this connection that you are you and I am I. We have borders in our countries, okay? We have rules and regulations. You can't go into another country without doing a certain thing, without paying to get in there. You can't, and that kind of thing, because you are different. Your separation is so harsh in this reality, right? That's the reason why there's pain and suffering, right? You cannot see your neighbor as your neighbor and truly embrace him as your neighbor, as a human being. You cannot do that because he carries a different surname, he's from a different culture, he speaks a different language, he's just different, so he's not like you. And then how you treat him, you don't treat him well, you only because he's not part of your tribe. You see, that kind of thing. You see, this is like the macro issue, not the micro. The micro issue needs to be dealt with first before the macro gets healed, right? So if each single person, each little family, each little community learns about love, self-acceptance, and taking autonomy and owning their own life experience, and taking authority of their own life experience, right? It starts with you realizing and understanding that I need to make a change. I'm tired of living this life and life is happening to me. I need to make a change by me making the right decisions, what I'm going to do. Okay, how can I change and become different for myself, to make myself like better, and also to also make everybody else better too as well. Also with the micro, with the why, with the I, with ourselves first. We need to take ownership of our experience here, right, in this life. That's what we need to do. Okay, we need to take ownership of our life experience. We're almost done, right? So remember the daily practices, daily affirmation. Get up in the morning and affirm out your wellness. Thanks, Spirit, for this wonderful day. Thank yourself for being so disciplined and so aware. Remember, you are now changing your frequency, okay? Your morning practice alignment is about you being consciously aware of your day and all that can happen today, right? That's what your morning practice is about. Your affirmation, your gratitude. Gratitude is very big as well, because I think in one of Bashar's teachings, he also talks about gratitude, being grateful for what you have and not looking outside for what you don't have, okay? Being grateful for what you have all the time and not looking outside of what you don't have, right? That's one of the major issues here. Self-authority, understanding that self-authority means, right, stop giving your power away to external sources and situations, okay? Own your own life experience by owning your own responses to what's happening in your life, okay? Being grateful of your life for where you are now, very important. Okay, then as well, follow your highest excitements. Do what excites you, and it might be small things, a lot of things in a day. You have your list of what you're gonna get done today, right? What excites you most? Tick it and start with that thing, okay? And then work through your list like that, okay? And when you get to a point where you feel you're stuck and this thing that you need to do doesn't excite you, but you need to get it done because it's gonna actually level you up, okay? You know it's good for you to do it, like maybe going to gym. I've asked yourself, why am I feeling a bit resistance? What's causing this resistance? What is the core belief? Maybe I believe that this thing is not enjoyment. Enjoyment for me. Okay. Then you make a decision. Let me try another exercise, something that's gonna be more enjoying. Maybe let me try walking. I enjoy walking more than, for example, jogging, or even more than whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. Lunges, whatever it is. Let me go and do. Maybe I'm gonna add now walking in my routine. I walk for about 15 to 20 minutes each day, right? Walking, and then go and I'll carry. Okay, let me add to it. I'll put maybe a weight. I'll tie a weight on my arm or whatever, on my leg, or on my legs, and just to give more resistance, knowing that I'm really getting that exercise that I need, right? All those things you have to assign that meaning to what you believe, and also decide on why you're having the resistance, okay? And then you change it and you make it easy for yourself, because you are your own authority, okay? Because somebody else may enjoy that certain exercise that you don't enjoy, right? So because you are your own authority, that person is that their own authority and they have different worldviews or perception. Or follow your highest excitement. Do what excites you most first in the morning, right? What excites you more? What will add value to your life, right? In most cases, when you do something, you ask yourself, okay, when I do this thing religiously, will it really add to my life? Okay, it's so boring to do this thing, but I know that if I do it religiously, continuously, it's going to add. I'm going to get those biceps are going to be strong. I'm going to get that flat stomach, right? But let me see if I can find other ways that are more exciting, but also can get me the same results. Okay, there's many exercises you can do. This is like, I'm just using exercises as an example. Anything, even eating healthy types of foods and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do in your life that excites you. You understand they can add value into your life. So your decisions are around what excites you, right? So Bashar's core teaching is excitement. The higher self gives that guidance because your higher self wants you to enjoy this life experience. Your higher self understands that you manifest faster and more efficiently when you enjoy what you're doing. Okay, like for example, you enjoy uh social media, okay, because you want to build your numbers, but you enjoy it, right? But you want to build the numbers, but you don't enjoy it. It becomes a problem because now the excitement is what's going to make you able to create or an hypnotic rhythm. You can able to do this thing religiously. You can able to pitch up every day or whatever, however you can do it every weekend, whatever, however you're gonna do it, you're gonna make that content, you're gonna pitch up. Okay, because you're excited about social media, you're excited about creating something and putting it out there. You're excited about inspiring people, teaching people, entertaining people, whatever it is. Dancers, musicians do the same thing. It's all about the excitement. And when that excitement falls away, you find that a person changes his career. You get my point? Like that one actor that was an actor from Indian Empire, and now he's no more actor. Now he went into science because he outlived and outplayed the excitement of being the actor, and he was good at it. Because Bashar speaks about people doing things to their best ability. When something excites you, do it to your best ability, right? Until that excitement gets finished, and then you find something else to be excited about. Now that's Terrence. I forgot his son. His name is Terrence, I think. Right, but that guy, he's a living example of what I'm talking about because he was an actor for many years and he loved what he did. He did very well. He made a lot of money and his career was very good, great career, right? Then he left it and now he's doing something else. And this happens to a lot of people. Okay, I have another social media content sharer or and creator that I used to follow. She was very big or plant-based what you call content, plant-based content, living healthy, creating different vegan, raw and vegan recipes. She got recipe books, a lot of recipe books, a whole lot of them, recipe books and everything. She's made success in there. She left that and she walked into something that's more exciting now for her, which is dancing. You understand? I think it was Kate Flowers. You see my point? You're seeing her evolution from that exciting process, right? Of being that creator, having that viewership, having that success, having that endorsements, and then she moved on to something else. And that's how life should be. Okay, that's what Bashar is trying to tell us, that be excited for that thing, live it, express it, do it to your best ability, right? In other words, milk it as much as you can milk it, right? And when you're finished and now the excitement is worn off, you're feeling like you had enough of this, now you can move and then try something else and excite you, right? Remember that excitement and money. Your excitement will eventually bring forth the money you need, right? In many different ways, maybe not in the way that you wanted to bring forth the money, right? And the level up, because people want the money. People get excited about earning the money, right? And that is a good thing as well, because at the end of the day, but remember your passion and your excitement, that thing that you like to do can bring that money as long as you have an open mind and remember that it's not going to come maybe in a way that you expect it to come in. Maybe it's going to come in a different way. You get what I'm trying to say? Maybe it'll come in a different way. Now you may, for example, your social media content creator, you create content and yeah, your numbers are building, things are going well for you. You get my point? And then like, yeah, start getting book deals. Maybe you get book deals, people that are interested in your content, or people want to create a podcast with you. Yeah, and they're gonna pay you and get paid. Maybe radio stations gonna contact you for you to come in and have a little like a program or whatever that on radio station, and then you get paid. You see, so and you thinking, okay, how is this gonna get me paid? There's many ways of you getting your money, many ways, but remember, it's linked to your passion. This is what Bashar is trying to tell us, that your money is linked to your passion. That's why I've learned to love my job. I've learned to love what I do on the ninth on my in my 9 to 5, right? Or it's not a 9 to 5, but it's more like a 6 to 7, right? No, 7 to 3. Sorry, you see my points. I've learned to love it, knowing that yes, this thing gives me money, but I will be more content when I learn to love what I do. So what am I doing? I'm adding value here, right? I'm doing my best. I'm bringing myself with my lovely personality. When you notice you have this one wonderful personality, that people just love you. Like when you walk into the room, the house or the room just lights up. And I believe that about myself, right? So these are the things that I'm talking about. That whatever gift you have, whatever excites you, let it be your way for you to make a way for you to your success and your money. Eventually your money will come through, right? So people who always lose hope and say, well, when the money is coming, when the money is coming, that's where the problem comes in, right? Have patience. That's the biggest teaching that we need to learn, is patience. So while we're doing this thing that we're so excited about, we must have patience and believe in ourselves and in what we are doing, that we're adding value. Your value shall be rewarded. Even said in the Bible, right? Your gift shall make a way for you, right? Your gift shall make a way for you. Although the Bible is a book that's been manipulated and it's used as a tool for a certain controlling system to control people, but there are things in there, as I say, in the matrix has truth and lies. There are things in the Bible, teachings in the Bible, that can help you as a person. You understand? Remember, the Bible is not a holy book, it's just a book. It's a book that was written by a number of people. Go to do the history, go and learn the history of the Bible. You'll find that it was from a different people for different reasons. It's a political reason. Basically, with the Roman Empire, you get my point, that kind of thing. So people not must understand that the book is not really a divine book. But if you want it to be divine, because that's the assignment you are making, then it will be divine to you, right? It's like, for example, somebody somewhere decided the Bible is divine, and then told every person the Bible is the divine book, and then people started deciding, okay, it is a divine book, but it's not. It's just a book. It's like you saying that the dictionary is a divine book. A dictionary book is a lovely book, right? It doesn't have stories, but it has words, and people keep on changing words. New words come in, same as the Bible, right? The Bible never looked the way it looked today in 2025, and probably will not look the same way it looks today in 2030 something or 40 something. Maybe it won't even exist. Maybe it'll be put somewhere in archives as part of history, human history, right? Because eventually we will drop the importance, the hold that it has, because religions are going to fall. Religions are basically going to fall, right? Even the Quran, even all these things are going to fall, right? Because basically there has to be change. When I say fall, they will go away. They won't be as important in society anymore. They won't be the basis and foundations of our societies anymore, because people are going to see something else. They're talking about AI taking over in that way. But anyway, that's another story for another day. It's quite interesting because there's so many things going on, guys, right? But you have to take ownership and authority of your own life experience. A true awakened person. Thank you for joining, Caitlin. A true awakened person, a person has taken ownership and authority of their own life. Caitlin, you came a bit late, I think, but there's so many things we spoke about here. I was speaking about today, Bashar's teaching. Bashar is the entity that's actually been channeled by Darryl Anka, right? Bashar's teachings are all about self-empowerment, living within your own authority, taking responsibility of your life, not allowing external influences to create your life, assigning meaning to external things that are happening, meanings that add value to you, positive meanings, not based on fear, but based on love, okay? That's what it's all about. I was speaking about that today, okay? And one of the things that he teaches us here is taking your own power. A morning practice can help you to actually start your day with your own power. And in the end of the day, your evening practice of unwinding can also teach you to let go of the day and be grateful for what you have today. Now remember, you're creating your life at every moment, every choice, every every experience, everything you do, you create in your life. And the more positive it is, the more better for you. The more positive it is, the more better for you, right? So if you have not as yet, right, and you're new to my channel and my content, I'm Cecile, life coach and motivational speaker. If you like what you've been hearing, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Okay, my numbers are small, I'm building them up, right? I'm full of enthusiasm, and I know that my channel is going to explode one day sooner or later, right? Because of the stuff, the topics and information that I'm talking about is very high frequency. Okay, and I know that at this time people are looking for high frequency information. You get my point, right? And people love content, spiritual content. So on my channel I'll also be speaking about other things like spiritual things like witchcraft and spells and magic, all these nice things, all these metaphysical things that some people call evil, right? I'm into all that as well. So I will be also putting content on that about that. So if you are following me and have subscribed to my channel, following my channel, go ahead and also send me a message, right? And tell me what other topics you would like me to talk about more about, right? You understand? Then I will make some video on that and we can talk about it, and I'll also talk about it on the lives as well. Okay, remember that everything's about information, and information is key to evolution and expansion. Okay, so a true awakening person is like a sponge. They just want to hear more, they want to learn more, they want to know more so they can live better and make right decisions for themselves and be better within their own life experience as well, and manifest all the things they really truly want to manifest in their life experience, things that add value to their life experience. Okay, so as I said, if you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click on the subscription button so that when I make more videos and I'm on a live, then you can pop up and see, get the notification as soon as possible. All right, and please do share my channel with your friends so that I can get more people to also join this growing community. All right. So I have a great week further, and I normally have my lives on Saturday and Sunday, right? But I'm gonna try and see if I can put more during the week as well. She said I'm also a working person, right? So I have my mundane life, and I have my social media hobby and my hustle that I like, and I have my coaching as well. I also coach on my life coach and a motivation speaker. Okay, I have a website. If you are interested, my website is on my details on my uh, YouTube handle and information. There's my website there, consultingsissin.com. If you are interested to know more about me and what I do besides my social media stuff. Okay, so have a great week further, guys, and be blessed. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others as well. All right. Goodbye, guys.